Greetings, sending you all some warm, positive vibrations. This is Body Culinary, and I wanted to come in and to just address something that a subscriber asked, maybe once or twice, a few times I've gotten this comment. So someone commented, "You keep saying that your hair is fine, yet it looks thick to me." Some people have said that they have seen how my hair has thickened up. And from time to time, I'll change the video that is for returning subscribers. There are usually two videos there, and I put the original one back there that says, "What is Body Culinary?" So this will be a great example of what my hair looks like. Now, really interesting because we don't usually see ourselves. Looking back at it now, and I would say my hair was pretty healthy. I would even say almost like thick. And when I look now, I'm like, wow, my hair is really fine. It's really, really fine. So it's very fine and delicately textured, as well as it's not dense in terms of follicles, meaning instead of, let's say, 2 million individual follicles, I may have 100,000 follicles. So it's not very densely populated. And it is also very wiry. Some people say ZZ, very, very kinky to zigzag in texture. So I just wanted to touch on that today. And it's a question I've heard a lot floating around the YouTube community, right? For women that are asking questions, that are inquiring, that may have very fine textured hair. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm Body Culinary, professional chef, personal trainer, natural born woman, lover of all things natural. And on this channel, I share some insight into my journey of what I call radical self-acceptance of all the divinely assigned features that I popped out onto this 3D plane with. I like to take a lot off the table so I can be freed up in terms of time, energy, allowing my skin to breathe, and really enjoying and celebrating what it is that I have, because I can't be anybody else. I also share on this channel motivation and inspiration to start and cultivate a garden, no matter what kind or size of space that you are in. Peaceful consumption, which is centered around whole, fresh, living, unprocessed fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts, legumes, sprouts, and fresh grain herbs and spices. Whatever you'd like to add to that, or whatever labels you'd like to call it, is fine. I'm more concerned about the results. And also, what you'll find in this channel is motivation and inspiration to cultivate, start, reactivate a personal movement practice, what some people will call exercise. I like to approach it, right, in my mind, because I'm big on rewriting the narrative, vigorous, joyous movement, right? So the way something occurs to us can make a huge difference in whether or not we're sustainable. So if you're interested in that type of content, that is what you will find on this channel. If you find some value here, do feel free to subscribe and share the content with somebody that may be experiencing a lot of acne, hyperpigmentation, scars, has tried everything natural, over the counter, unnatural, and still receiving no results. So what do you have to lose by taking on a consumption pattern of whole, fresh, living foods, right? And if you like your results, you can carry on, and it's a lifestyle. So today I wanted to just check in and communicate about my experience with this very fine Afro textured hair. Now my hair has been a return to natural, right? Because we're born natural since, let's say, high school, right? After high school, and one of my good homies in high school encouraged me to go natural, or return to natural, and I have been natural ever since. I haven't put any more perms in my head or pressed my hair. It was just too torturous. My hair does not, it communicates very strongly and clearly. It does not like to be handled. And I dare say I would not have a hairline. This is super delicate as it is. Any kind of handling, even I've done several chops or haircuts on my locks, because the areas where I would put a lot of beads and baubles, it will rip. It's delicate. It just can't take it. It actually doesn't like a whole bunch of products. It doesn't like to be overwashed. It's delicate. It does its own thing. So I'm in radical self-acceptance, and I'm going along for the ride. So that being said, when it was loose natural, right? So before I had locks, I didn't intend to get locks. I got locks kind of involuntarily, as I was traveling, I decided just to go along with it, stop fighting it. I've done every kind of style imaginable. So I thought, why not? Let's see what the hair does in locks, even though it's very fine. I could be very antsy about, I don't know what the hair is going to look like, but I've done everything else, and I'm very comfortable that if it was hanging on by a shoestring, if it was looking in a way I didn't really care for, it's only hair, I can cut it off. Whether it's locks or it's short or double strand twists, it's all quote unquote spiritual, which is very practical. So in this journey, as I've seen, and I've allowed them to combine, and right now I'm intuitively, like with my food, I'm intuitively moving with my hair. I'm lucky if there are 37 or 38 locks. I would love big congonatis, but even if you look at all of these, right, that's most of my hair, it's just not dense. It's just not thick. So that means, right, for the person that asked, right, said, your hair looks thick to me. So let me make some distinctions. I love distinctions so that I can clarify the context. I'm not doing any kind of twisting, none, ever. I used to, and even then it wasn't a lot, right? Because then you would see my whole scalp, right? You would see my whole scalp looking like a street map. Because it's not densely populated, right? Even when I used to wear cornrows, when my scalp was exposed for whatever reason, even with the best, most meticulous, cleanest, gentlest hair braider, master hair braider, whenever my scalp was exposed, it would itch profusely. So really paying $100 for my hair to get done and upwards, I would have to take it out within a week because it was so itchy. So when people are saying, why are you saying your hair is very fine if it looks thick? Well, I'm here to tell you this may be really a great option for women that are concerned. If you're thinking down the line of maybe you're concerned that you're going to get alopecia, or you're trying to find different things to do with your hair. You want it to grow, you want to leave it alone, but we're just so fixated and anxious about what's it going to look like. It won't look acceptable. I'm not twisting it. So leaving the fro at the base that's exactly what's making it look full, or what people are called thickening it up. It's not thickening per se. I'm not putting any products in there. I don't use any conditioner. I don't use any fast growth, this oil or this or that. I'm not using any of that stuff. As a matter of fact, I threw all of those products away because I felt like I was suffocating with too much clothes, too much products, too much stuff. I felt like it was driving me crazy. So I take a lot of stuff off of the table because it helps me to relax. And relaxation is critical. At least I'm very, very sensitive. So because I'm not twisting and because it's so fine, one of the characteristics, and most people probably wouldn't care for this, I have chosen to embrace it. All of my locks, you may not be able to see it, but they're actually all flat. Maybe you might see a little roundness left at the bottom where the 2-strand twists were, but leaving them alone and not twisting them, even like some of the thickest ones, it's wider and it's full at the root. So that is what is making it look full or thick. The thickening is only a result of me leaving the hair alone. Right now, as I've been rinsing it a lot, I rinse it with tea. The other day, I made a really lovely Nopales hair rinse because I prefer not to be on a whole stroll of products from anyone. I like to just be free. If I can grow it in the yard, works for me. No toxic chemicals coming in. And I actually even have variety from the things growing in my yard. I have nettles and neem and okra and nopales. I have an abundance of nopales, so it's not costing me anything. It's very easy to grow. Even in purchasing in the States aloe, I was able to get a big, gigantic leaf, big, thick leaf of aloe for $1. Okra, you can get a bag of okra for $1, $1.50. So for me, as someone that's had a tremendous amount of acne, anything that I cannot eat, I do not put on my hair and skin. I'm just not. And this is what has worked for me, clearing up my skin and leave my hair alone. So again, all of them, they're all flat. It's like carpet, right? These are ones that now this is fully together, so now I can't separate this. More of them are growing together. I don't know what it's going to look like. I mean, if I thought too hard, I'd probably get anxious and be like, I don't want still pulse congonatis. So if anything, I spritz. I have a spray bottle, an old rose water bottle. I fill it with filtered water. Sometimes I'll add a drop, 1 or 2 drops of essential oil of peppermint and lemongrass. Lemongrass because it's a mood lifter, and peppermint just because it smells fresh and I'm in the garden. Perhaps it'll keep some of the mosquitoes away, or just nothing, just filtered water. And I spray it and I smooth it. That's it. Greetings. You're not late. You're not late. I just came on very impromptu. So I was just explaining. I don't know which subscriber. I can't think of which one asked me the question, but a few people have said before, why do you keep saying that your hair is fine? And to you, it looks thick. But that's the blessing of embracing your afro, right? It's complementary to what we have. We are, I think perhaps we're keep trying to make us, we've been conditioned to make our hair do something that it just is not. It will never be. It will never be. And something I think about a lot is I contemplate the hair flip. So, you know, all women, we have our things, those women that are loving femininity, right? Which I am one of them. So you see sisters, even when they're rocking, you know, they got their snatch, you know, if they're rocking whatever hair pieces or adornments or wigs, and they got them looking very snatched and very tight. You know, when you got them long, you be doing it. You know, it's just feminine little mannerisms that we be doing. And I have always thought, see, welcome to the mind of Body Culinary. Like, why can't we do that with our own hair? Right? You decide where you want your part, if you want your part on the side or if you want it in the center. Our hair doesn't flow to the same degree as our Caucasian fellow human beings, right? We have afro, kinky, cottony, springy hair. And as a matter of fact, it will grow up this way until it gets a certain length, right? And then eventually it will start to cascade or start to fall as it gets more weight and as it gets longer. The thicker your hair is, and the springier, perhaps the more straight it will grow. But eventually it will get to a length where it will start to cascade. So I've got a little bit of body here without doing anything because it's not weighed down with any kinds of gels or products. So again, every one of them are flat. All of them, even in the back, are flatter, right? So there's no round locks here. It is the afro that gives the appearance, and not even the appearance, it's looking like what it is. It's cotton. It's human cotton. It's a cottony crown. So the thickness that folks are seeing is because I'm not picking it, combing it, or twisting it. It's just a free afro, right, at the bottom. So now, if you'd like to see a comparison, if you look at the intro video on this channel that says, what is Body Culinary? You will see a great example of how fine my hair is. Oh my gosh. And it had tremendous shrinkage. It looks like it's up to here and it looks so sparse. It was in double strand twists, and I unraveled the double strand twist for a fuller look. And then sometimes I would do that every 3 days to get more of a full fro. So even when my hair was loose natural, I would do double strand twists and open it. Or I would wear one of my favorite hairstyles is two what I call afro buns. When it was a loose natural, I would have 2 banana clips and I would do 3 puffy twists and then take the 3 twists and I would tuck them, you know? So now I have a little length. So now it's a bit below my shoulder, even with a few cuts. So I still wear a lot of the same styles. But if you look at that video, you'll see how fine my hair is. You'll even see as my skin has gone through different transformations. It took a while for me to figure out and to really just be honest and submit to, even with the health junk, the different things that were exacerbating and triggering my skin to break out over the years, even with all the different types of things I was trying. It's just like with exercise. You cannot outrun your eating habits, and it also applies to our skin. If you are a person, right, or an Afro person with very fine hair, very cottony hair, there's no way to outrun the constant manipulation. If your hair, for example, if you see a lot of broken pieces of your hair in the sink, right, because I don't like oil. I don't like any kind of oil in my hair because I don't want it running down into my face or in the back of my neck. So if you happen to be in the sun a lot, like I am in the garden, and I don't like to wear hats and stuff on my person, the hair is cooking in the sun. So even if it's natural, it's exposed to the sun. It can actually dry out if you don't like oil. And especially if you're using perhaps cheaper or lesser quality products, like some of this Suave or the 99-cent discount store shampoos that may smell a little tutti frutti, but those harsh chemicals can break off your hair. The constant handling can break off your hair. There are there are several videos on YouTube that talk about brushing your locks. I even try that. You know, we experiment. We're trying all these different things as we're peeking into each other's kitchens. But I can tell you, this hair communicates, leave me at peace, or I'm going to exit the premises. So again, I just want to emphasize that the thickness that you see, and you can compare and contrast. Look at how now I can say, right, because we can't see ourselves, that even I would say it looks sparse. And that was me thinking back in the day, my hair was full, you know, so from the double strand twist, I would unravel it to, you know, a braid out, and then I would let it expand into an afro. And I had to do that every 3 days, especially in different professions, so that it looked professional and kept. So again, I want to emphasize, when people are saying it's thickening up, what you're really seeing is just a natural afro, because I'm not twisting it. And the less I twist it, the better. As we mature also, our hair is going to change. And right now, whether we're acknowledging or not, most of us are going through more stress than we were going through before. It's got amped up, I don't know, to the 10th power. Stress can make your hair thin and fall out. Add to that all the medications. Consider all the substances that we're eating out of stress recreationally. So add that to not moving and being constricted. All of these things are affecting our hair growth. So I take a lot off the table in terms of really simplifying my consumption patterns. I eat very, very well. I enjoy the way I eat. I take a lot off the table in terms of twisting, manipulation. And at this point, I feel very grateful that if I'm fixated on anything, it's whole fresh foods. And I was a real intense junk food junkie at some point. And I love to eat Afro soul food, Caribbean food. You know, I'm lucky I can fit on this chair and in my clothes. So I've taken a lot of those different things off the table. I'm not interested in being a slave to my hair. So if you want your hair to thicken, and maybe other people disagree, but this is just one woman's experience. The thickening that you see is not twisting, allowing them to combine. Some of these are 4. So again, my hair is very fine. Look at this. This is 3 locks, and it started from a puffy double strand twist. As it matures, it's going to become very compact, right? So you may want to go along for the ride. This is this little 2-3 cents. For many of us, I see struggling with our hair, and maybe perhaps most of us will not admit to being insecure about our hair, or we don't want to acknowledge it. And I don't blame you. I don't like to claim certain stuff. But if we were to step back and observe ourselves, if we look at, I was always in a beauty supply store. Part of it was just creativity, right? I love being creative with clothing and fashion. In particular, I love to play in my hair, even though my hair doesn't like to be messed with. If we leave it alone, right? Some of us, if you listen to the internal dialogue, right, that's coming up in your quiet moments, which I'm very, very big on. I even consider it a big part of relaxation. You might really start to notice some of the internal criticisms, whether they were deposited from programs or underlying comparisons on social media and TV. You know, you don't know what this hair is going to look like. I'm thinking, I don't want steel pulse. I'm thinking about what I don't want. But just having, I don't know if I want to say having faith, more so than I would say being very intentional. And this is what I have. I'm going to embrace it. And I've decided to give myself the validation that I was seeking from others and a narrative that was put upon me. I don't need other people's permission for how my hair looks. If I was going to an airline, a corporate meeting, I might be creative with it, but I have made a decision for myself. You'll have to find what your sweet spot is. This is it. And I'm not interested in driving myself crazy to impress other people. And actually, I have found in sitting in that, and that's been a continual process, you'll start to find yourself, eventually your eyes will be retrained, which is interesting because even every now and then when I go to play in a little bit of accents of makeup or whatever, to my eye, I actually find, even though I can look at makeup, it looks beautiful, to me, it feels unnatural. It just feels like a lot of the eyebrows to me, it looks so artificial. I don't find it appealing for me. It may look attractive on some other people. You'll have to find your sweet spot. We don't have to put other people and their choices down to find your own spot in your own lane, To me, a lot of this is about relaxation, which is very critical to my mental health, with how I'm feeling. If I can walk past the mirror and I can just catch myself smiling at myself, like I've fallen in love with my eyebrows, and somehow they made a resurgence and came back after all of that tweezing and threading. Sometimes we're damaging the organism to the point where it won't come back. You know, then we'll have to tattoo things on ourselves. And some of these looks, they look very harsh. And then also to take things off and then to feel like a psychological letdown and to do that every day, that doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me, right? If I sit in my quiet moments, relaxation is so important. And as someone that's worked as a trainer and a chef for decades, looking at different clients I've worked with, is one of the biggest parts of my practice that I'm very passionate about is getting to the root of why we are consuming. I have and other people and my clients consume mindlessly. We beat ourselves up. However, I have discovered and observed is so much stuff been packed and deposited into our subconscious that we can change all of this stuff on the surface. And to some degree, it's a tool, it's useful, but you can't really outrun the operating system, right? What your set point is, how you, not what you say, but how you really deep down feel about yourself. And we have different things, faces we put on for work and for other people. And we tell everybody, oh, I'm fine, everything is fabulous. However, I invite you to consider, and we have a lot of mindless consumption patterns that sabotage our health, our well-being, our brain, our lungs, our finances, then I invite you to consider, where is that coming from? What is the root of it? Could it be any one of those 6 basic human fears, which I invite you to look that up on your own, right? How we really feel. And I would even say, I think perhaps many of us are not aware of the operating system of our psyche, while folks looking to sell products to us are highly aware of esteem issues, insecurities, and it's extremely profitable. So I would say it would, we would really benefit from slowing down and be courageous enough to unpack what is driving a lot of our self-sabotaging behaviors, which can take years off of our life. We had to compile all of that distraction into years. You know, it's a lot, and it's very addictive, even hypnotic. So I just wanted to come in and just share that the thickness that it appears, right? And look again at that intro video on this channel. What is Body-Culinary? You can still see my skin was changing. You can see a picture of what it looks like when I had a lot of hyperpigmentation, and you can still see some of the acne still with like whiteheads and stuff with it. And it's not shameful, but I just think of like it was emotional, so uncomfortable, so uncomfortable. At the same time, at one point, just like with my hair, I made a decision to sit with myself and to trust that this divinely assigned body temple has such an innate divine intelligence. It knows how, on its own, to achieve a healthy weight. It's cleansing and building. It knows what it's doing. If it's getting rid of all the cheese doodles that I ate, all the now laters, all the Kit Kats, the huge ones I ate, several back to back, all the fried chicken, all the Chinese food, that stuff didn't disappear. 1 or 2 poo-poos or a quick herbal laxative. That stuff was ingrained, lining my innards and my colon. It had to come out. And, you know, at some point, I just made a decision to sit with, you know, and pay the tab to go wash the dishes for everything I ordered at the restaurant. I had to pay the tab. And so I made a decision to sit with myself, and it was very uncomfortable. At the same time, I would say clarity is more than its weight in gold. It's so valuable. When you get clear, you won't have to struggle so much with trying to lose weight or trying to diet. I invite you to take your time and just to have a healthy curiosity to get quiet so you can start to listen and intuit and feel in a way that is not necessarily tangible. What are the fears, or what is at the bottom? What is driving your behaviors? What is driving you? What is driving you if it's comparing yourself to somebody on social media who you can never be? It's a fantasy. You don't really know people. So I invite you to get quiet. So is it thick or it's just it's an afro? It's the same here. You can see its fullness because that is the blessing of the afro. So I invite you, if you have fine hair and you're one of the vanilla, humans, or if you are Japanese or like one of the beautiful spirits that I've worked with that is Irish, rock what you got. Rock it. You can make a conscientious decision to take it off the table and make a decision. I invite you. I'm not here to tell grown folks what to do. Take it off the table. I invite you to see and to practice and to cultivate. Give yourself the validation that you've been asking for others. You will show up differently. You will attract and garner another type of energy, initially, first, from yourself. And a song I was listening to, I have my own, maybe I have that for the next food prep party for the Patreon members that's coming up at the end of the month. I think I'm going to add karaoke. And you're welcome to share what your favorite vegan nail polish is. So we'll be pulling all the food out of the refrigerator and preparing it and having some fun. And I'm going to add some karaoke. Not that I'm a big avid singer. I'll be singing straight from the heart. So don't come for me if my voice is cracking. I'm just singing from the heart. So today I'm going to share with you one of the gems, because I talk about Grandma Lou and my godparents all the time on this channel. My godmother, she gives me chills when I think about it. I'm going to share with you one of the gems that she gave me. She said, and a lot of times in us looking to find ourselves and to dip back into Sankofa, right? Run back and fetch it. Dip back into our culture to sit in self-validation, sit on the throne, the internal throne of how you popped out here, into the 3D plane, sit into radical self-acceptance and to embrace, our unique features and our culture, right? And that effort, quite often, we start just throwing everything in the garbage. Can the religion, can the Western values per se, and we throw everything in the garbage. And we may perhaps be cutting off some of our roots. Oh my gosh. Speaking of roots, I can never stop thinking of the garden, because the garden is nature's church for me. So all the time, anytime I look at a plant, right, it just gives some information, right? I love it. So you see those roots right in there? I don't know if you can see those, right? I'm propagating this from one plant. I am big for taking one plant and reinventing it, right? I call it the ways of the mothers and the grandmothers, right? So look at that. I've got so many plants from this one plant. So in our efforts to return to something that is ours and representation for all humans, representation matters for Afro women of the diaspora, for humans of the diaspora. And I'm communicating as an Afro woman. Big respect to whoever comes to this channel, whatever your package is. And looking to cut all of this off, sometimes we're cutting off some of our very valuable roots. So my godmother, she said, some of the gospel songs that you're singing, she said, you don't have to dumb out. She said, sing to the God that dwells within you as you. So the gifts and the nuggets that my godparents have given me, I've been thinking of them, contemplating for at least 30 years. And so from that, and after she told me that, of course, they always gave us an assignment. She had us singing, all this in our 20s, she had us singing This Little Light of Mine. And we thought it was so corny. But true to form, after that, all of the love songs, and I'm big R&B lover, classic soul, all of the love songs, right? Some of them can be very depressing. Oh, why you leave me? I rewrote the narrative. And so gospel songs, love songs, I sing them to myself, right? To the essence of me. If you are no different than your creator or your parents, then you're not the all in all, but you're definitely connected and very much a part of it. You're not separate from it. So all that to say, if I'm singing to the God within me, it has another context and another meaning, right? It's a big distinction. So that being said, my karaoke, my goddess dedication, shout out to all my UGC girls. You know who you are. The dedication today, right? And you can find it here on YouTube with the lyrics, is Anita Baker giving you the best. What is it? Giving you the best that I got, right? So I invite you to look it up. Look up the one with the lyrics. And the assignment is to sing it. But you're literally going to, if you have a cute little hand mirror, your little goddess mirror, you're going to sing it to yourself. Perhaps when you come out of a nice hot shower meditation. as you are massaging your skin with cold pressed coconut oil and olive oil, taking the time to massage and nurture your breasts, your stomach, and your womb area and your limbs. For those of you that do put oil in your hair, rock out. But as you're doing it, I invite you to sing it. So look for the version, right? Because you can find the song with all the lyrics. Because you know, as Black folks, we make up our own words. We make up our own lyrics so you forget the words. So it's Anita Baker's giving you the best that I got. And I would love to hear from you, y'all subscribers out there, y'all folks that are chiming along with me on this channel. I would love to hear what comes up for you, what kind of emotions. Even take your time to journal it. What comes up for you? See, I get chills. What comes up for you as you're singing this song to yourself, as you're singing these love ballads to yourself, right? We're asking other people, sometimes demanding, sometimes having tantrums. All of this will contribute to us eating mindlessly, through feeling unfulfilled, like we don't have sweetness in our life. Then we're chewing on a bunch of Sour Patches and candies that are rotting out our teeth and giving us stinky breath. Giving yourself intentionally, literally, the validation and the care and the nurturing that you are asking for from others. I would love to hear what comes up for you. Let it be on repeat for the next 5-7 days, and I would love to hear what comes up for you. So that's how I'm getting thick. I'm thickening up my hair. It's doing what it's designed to do. Just like all of these plants, I have some new seeds, right? I have some new turnip greens, turnip seeds I'm going to put into the ground. All of these little seeds, some of them look different, but they have instructions in their DNA. I have the hardware of the seed and the software. There is genetic memory inside each seed that's going to make the mango. I got some mangoes coming up, the seeds from the compost in my kale. So now 2 mangoes are coming up inside of my kale beds. So all of these seeds have different genetic DNA information. It's absolutely, to me, this is mind blowing. That's why I'm the trainer to tell you to start a garden. At least start with 2 things, some kind of herb, something that you can eat, and something that is very beautiful for you to cast your eyes on. It's different. I know I could sing all these powders and stuff. I'm not going to do that because it's not sustainable. I haven't found that it works. There is a lot that we have access to with our personal movement practice, with peaceful consumption and starting a garden, and embracing how you popped out onto this 3D plane. What do you have to lose? Nothing. You have everything to gain, right? Your own exoticness, per se. This is a beauty mark. It's a beauty mark. So feel free, if you get any kind of value on this channel, to give it a like so that other folks can find this kind of information. Might be some other women out there with this kind of hair, or daughters with this hair. I say let your daughter's hair, let it grow down to the ground. Let them feel that healthy sense of vanity and explore what can a hair do. And it's like, you can walk around, you can wash and go. You don't have to do much of anything, right? If we just celebrate it, we just celebrate. You don't have to really do much of nothing. Just keep it clean and smooth it down. Who knew? Set yourself free. So subscribe to the channel. Feel free to support the channel. Do check out Whole Living Foods, the guide. Whole Living Foods in the Hood, with menus to fit your budget. There are different shopping lists and different budgets. So if you're interested in consuming or getting on the path of consuming whole, fresh living foods as a lifestyle, this is plant-based. You can put whatever labels you want on it. We're more interested in the results. But there are pictures there. There are all types of tips and tricks, if you want, or strategies more. So not tricks. Strategies I've used over these different decades of just consuming a healthy, unprocessed food lifestyle. Pictures, lists, if you have children, if you're single, if you're in a budget, if you're a student, that's all laid out. That guide is in Whole Living Foods in the Hood, Part 1, whatever kind of hood you're from. Part 1 with menus to fit your budget, and then Natural Beauty, No Products. That will give you some kind of insight to, literally, I'm not joking when I'm telling you, I put food on my face. If I cannot eat it, I do not put it on my skin. And was one of my first mentors, shout out to shout out to Queen of Food, because she's one of my, I don't mention her a lot because some people say that we look alike. I don't know that we look alike. With so many years, she was one of my first mentors. And so there's a lot. I mean, I've had some really, really gems in my life as mentors. Anyway, y'all create a great rest of the evening. I invite you to have a really peaceful rest. And thank you to all of those folks that were wishing me and that are sending me positive vibes. My shoulder is starting to feel better today. I went for a massage. Oh, shout out to Flo. I've not many people I will let put their hands on me. So I'm very picky about who touches my person. She gave me an excellent massage and some release, right? So I'm big into investing in my coaches, my juicer, my food ingredients. I'd rather pay on the front end than on the back end. So it's starting to heal, right? And the more I stay on focused on positive activity, that's just where my mind is. So my attention is not so much on the aching. I think if I focused on that, I might be feeling down in the dumps. So shout out to the massage therapists and all those body workers. One more thing I'm going to say. Then I'm going to hop off of here. On the online community, I hear a lot of folks joking about hoteps and broketeps. And I get it. You know, you got folks, poverty pimps, whether they're in the pulpit or folks, there's no shortage of people taking religions or aspects of culture and using them to manipulate people in a cult-like fashion and just straight up manipulators. But something that I consider, right? And my sister and I were talking about something we're talking about with technology. With, I think it was Napoleon Bonaparte, when he and his crew, when they deciphered whatever, the Rosetta Stone, and when they got access to a lot of the treasures inside Kemet, right? Some people call this Egypt. When they opened up, I can't think of what the year it is, when they got access to a lot of those tombs, a lot of technology was taken out of. So I'm going to say this, and this is just one woman's perspective. We have to be very, very careful, you know, as people, as human beings right now, we're so easily duped. And as Afro people, to not tear down your culture because some people are misusing it, right? Because somebody's misusing the principle of the Ankh, that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the Ankh, or Hotep meaning peace. Because then we're back to square one or square fool again, still not being grounded. So I know that I have living in the flesh. I've been introduced and had the opportunity to be guided and get some nuggets. Forces of Nature Dance Company, I'm calling them out. My grandma Lou didn't have any labels on her. Some of my greatest, like living, walking, breathing in the flesh. And the principles, nobody owns the principles. So Hotep means peace. And there are many people that, just like with anything else with other religions, that are misusing and abusing it. So you got to be very careful of throwing your culture in the garbage because of other people manipulating it and making an effort to pimp it. That's the people, not the principle. And you can find transformative principles, because nobody has carte blanche or owns them, in every culture, in every religion. You can also find human beings that are deviant the world over, in every shape, form, every demographic, on the corner, in universities. You can find these people. So you got to be very, very careful due to traumatic or funky or very unpleasant experiences to toss your culture in the garbage. I don't think that means you need to be dogmatic or not have common sense, right? Because it has lots, it could be vegan, raw food. That's not telling the whole story. However, the things that empower you and give you context, be careful not to throw your culture or the things that have special meaning to you because you had a breakup or something. If it has meaning for you and is sacred for you, you know, you get to decide. That's why I'm like, find your sweet spot. Write your narrative. Your personal rituals can be so empowering to you. My godmother used to tell me, go out and dance if you want to, but she said, get home in time enough for your spiritual practices. Spiritual practices were meditation, dance, cleaning your space, whatever that was, exercise. Those are my that's why I love my godparents so much. She said, never leave your spiritual practices. And when I say spiritual over in this little teeny corner, I mean it in the most practical sense, because your practices will never leave you. That's your movement practice, whether that's yoga, I don't care what you call it, whatever you do to move, flow, get sweaty, you're drinking of your water in a wine glass, you're burning your sage or boiling some cinnamon on the stove to sweeten up your house. Those rituals, your children will remember them, but more so for you, you're putting the oxygen mask on yourself. Never leave your spiritual practices because people may leave, jobs may leave, but your spiritual practices will never leave you. So I'm just passing on that little usable nugget. Y'all have a great, restful sleep. And every day in the wee hours, which I'm an early riser, I kind of have so many ideas and things to share that I can barely contain myself or keep up with them. So stay tuned. I'm posting more things in the community section. Check out Kwasa Peaceful Eating with a K, Kwasa Peaceful like full belly on TikTok, Body-Culinary on Instagram. I have a little on Facebook. I'm not really messing with Facebook too much, but I'm posting there. And the place to catch me, as my schedule will be changing, I'll be doing more workshops and more things privately, really getting to the bottom of our what's blocking us in terms of our movement practice and really changing the way that we eat. That's going to be on Body-Culinary, and I will start doing some live streams over there, so I don't have to be dependent on these particular platforms. So you're so welcome, Sonia's too. Create a great evening. Have a sweet, sweet rest where you're allowing all of that stuff to empty out so your body can go in and recharge, and hopefully your body's not overstuffed with food so you can have a more peaceful rest. See you soon.